Hi, everyone. My name is Tatiana. I'm the president and also founder of Impactional. I'm from Indonesia, and we've been developing Impactional for the last 3 months, and we got a quite huge exposure on social media, and our content is still ongoing because we want to reach as many countries as possible. And our goal is to fostering multicultural understanding and making sure that everyone could be connected, especially this passionate youth from all over the world. Together we can solve different world issues and eventually achieve the world peace. So that's for me. Angelina, do you have anything to add?
Hi, my name is Angelina, and I am the Director of Consulting, which is the smallest division of Impactional. So I kind of work to support our president, vice president, as well as the other divisions, and also do some work in admissions, particularly for the ambassador program, but also for some of the other programs. And in terms of our social media, I've taken over to kind of share both my experiences living in the United States and my experiences as an exchange student. I think within our organization, that's something that's pretty common because those of us who have been fortunate enough to live abroad are really excited to share those experiences with the other members of Impactional who are hoping to develop their multicultural understanding.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Okay. Is there any, Krish, what else that you want us to do right now?
So what impact have you made in your community?
Yeah, so Impactional, again, just like what I said earlier, has been, we're initiate this organization because we believe that we want to equalize opportunity for everyone, that everyone deserves international exposure. For some people like me and Angelina, who has been abroad before, Angelina is from the USA and going abroad to Indonesia. And for me, I'm from Indonesia and I've been abroad to USA. It has been one of the most amazing experience of my life, to be able to gain this kind of international exposure, meeting people from different countries from all over the world during that time. And it was something that I feel like I'm very, very privileged to be able to, to gain this scholarship to go there. The fact is not everyone can not everyone can experience this kind of experience. So, and I believe that, this kind of experience, having these friends from different countries, having this international exposure is very important for ourselves and our society. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, this kind of like connection and understanding between us from people from different countries is creating some sort of like, realization inside of ourselves that we're at the end of the day, we're all human beings, we're all one, we're all one society at the end of the day. And this kind of like issues and problems that happens between countries is very much a result of not having this understanding, having a lot of misconceptions, a lot of stereotypes between each other, and we want to be like the bridge to solve those kind of problems. So that's why we're creating Impactional. And what kind of impacts that we have made until this day? Well, Impactional was made in March 2020, so it means we're already ongoing for like 3 months, which is quite kind of new. But in this kind of in this very, very short amount of time, we're already creating a huge social media platform that we made. And it's not like bot or some sort of like some sort of like fake account. It's all like real people who following us because they believe in our mission, and they're all coming from different countries. We already reach almost 50 countries across the world, and we have a lot of program as well, and these programs turns out creating some sort of like understanding as well to a lot of people out there, giving them exposure that they've never done before. One of the most famous program that we have is the ambassador program, where the youth all over the world is like gathering together in this 10 group of young passionate people who actively giving this understanding, educating a lot of young people out there about multicultural understanding, and educating a lot of people out there about the exposure and also culture that they have, so a lot of people can gain this kind of exposure that they've never been before, and even though they've never been abroad, these people, our audience in our social media, having this kind of like understanding on what life would be if they were like, let's say in Russia, or let's say if they're in Ukraine, or even in USA. And it has been one of our biggest achievements so far. And I think with this huge kind of like exposure, it's also our responsibility to make sure that our mission is keep on going, and a lot of people are expecting from us, and creating more and more connection with a lot of organization, and also youth out there, to make sure that Impactional reach all over the world nonetheless. So yeah, that kind of impacts that we created so far in Impactional.
Yeah, and so you did a great job explaining, but just to kind of be a little bit more specific, for example, on our Instagram, we have posts about our board members and about our ambassadors that talk a little bit about the country and the culture and the identity of each one of our members. And then we've also done things like Instagram takeovers, where we take our followers and our members through a day in a life in various different countries and vlogs and that kind of thing, so that youth can kind of get to understand what life is like for their counterparts in other parts of the world. We're working on developing our mentorship program, which will be a program to allow people who are maybe not quite ready to become an ambassador, but are still interested in the program, to hear about events sooner and get kind of member-only articles. And we're still working what that specifically is going to be. And also, I think we're just building a really strong connection between ourselves as board members and between the members that we have, and really working to foster a community that is supportive and inclusive.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's
what
perfect.
I think is really empowering is technology, right? You wouldn't be able to organize such a massive movement without being able to connect over vast distances.
Right. Yeah. So what is the question again?
How do you think technology has helped you in your mission?
Yeah, I think we're maximizing we're maximizing our tools. As you might know, we have social medias right now, we have internet. So what we did is just maximizing those kind of things. We're seeking for, we want to make sure that our mission is going. So we're maximizing our tools that we have right now, especially social media. So that's some sort of like technology that we use to create this huge movement right now. Yeah.
So how did the idea start of Impactional? How did you come up with the idea?
Well, because I'm a former exchange student, and I feel I'm very, very privileged to be able to go to the USA with this fully funded scholarship. And as someone who's being in the position where I've never been abroad, where I have never ever get this international connection, where I've never ever met people from different countries, I have the understanding of how it feels to be so isolated from the whole world. And after my exchange year, I realized this is some sort of like my opportunity, my chance to give this kind of like opportunity as well to other people, in, let's say, in different part of the world, who also dealing with the same issues as as I am back then. And I think this is some sort of like call from inside of me, knowing that I want to help other people as well, gaining this international connection, as well as educating them, because a lot of us having this kind of stereotypes of, let's say, people in the USA is like this, people in the Russia is like this kind of stereotypes, which turns out doesn't always 100% true. Like, for example, after I met Angelina, she's like very, very amazing, and probably this kind of like stereotypes that I have before, especially those who are negative, is not true when you actually met them in real life. So this is some sort of like ideas and message that we want to also deliver to people out there, in different parts of the world. Having this kind of stereotype is very, very dangerous, because, like, again, it probably could start as something small, as like misunderstanding, misconception, but at the end of the day, it could lead to something that is more significant and more dangerous, like, for example, war, and, let's say, conflicts and stuff like that happens between us. So that's one of the reason why we're initiating this organization. Yeah.
Could you talk more about the exchange program and how was the experience?
I could talk about that, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to receive the reciprocal of the same scholarship. So I was able to study abroad in Indonesia for a year in high school, which definitely changed my perspective a lot. And prior to going, a lot of people that I knew back home were a little uncomfortable with the idea of me going to a place that they considered to be very foreign. And so I was able to kind of learn about what life in Indonesia was like and represent my country and my culture in a more positive light to the people that I met there. And then kind of play the same role of ambassador from Indonesia back to the US when I returned home. And since then, I knew that I wanted to stay involved in international exchange. So I participated in a virtual exchange program called the Experiment Digital. It's now called the Experiment Digital Youth Leadership and Community Service. And I'm actually working as a facilitator for the same program this year. And so I would say that exchange was definitely a big part of my life. And I was very fortunate to have had that experience. And also recognize that not everybody could. And so when Tatiana, who I did not know prior to being involved in Impactional, had reached out through a mutual friend, I was really excited to get involved and support her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
What were the initial obstacles you faced when during the exchange program, like language barriers?
I think for me, the language barrier was probably a bigger concern than for you, Tatiana, because I went abroad not speaking any Indonesian. So I had to learn from zero and it worked. But in terms of Impactional, pretty much all of our content is in English because we recognize that that's pretty much a universal language that many of our members are learning. So we try to be inclusive in our language and make sure that everybody understands. And for that reason, I think we've chosen English.
Yeah. Sure. Perfect. Yeah. I guess for me, like the quite like of like the challenges that I deal with during my exchange year is probably just different cultures, some sort of like culture shock. It wasn't so bad, I guess, because like, I mean, I've seen a lot of like, Alive in America, in the USA through, through the Hollywood screen, through, Netflix and whatnot. So it wasn't like quite like a really, really like a huge shock for me. And I guess Indonesia and USA, some sort of like having kind of like similarity in certain, in certain point, because like, we're like both are very, very diverse country. We're consists of people from coming in from different ethnicities and, and whatnot. So I guess it's not like as challenging, I would say, and especially they are using English, and I've been in Indonesia and I've learning English since I was like a very, very young age. So I think it's not quite a problem for me. I guess yeah, I guess that's all. I think one of the call that I get is coming from not a problem, but coming from like the benefits that I got there, who makes me creating Impactional. Again, just like what I've mentioned earlier, which is me having this very, very broad connection from different parts of the world, because in the USA, not only people coming from Indonesia, but also people coming from different countries like Germany, like Japan, like Vietnam, like France and Italy, and so on and so forth. There's like, almost like every country was there during my exchange year. So this is some sort of like benefits that I got. And from these benefits, I realized that I want to give these benefits not only for me, but also for people out there who's not, as fortunate as I am. So that's basically something that I've learned from my exchange year that I applied to, that I applied to, the beginning of Impactional. So yeah.
What was the initial starting point of Impactional? Like, how did you start it? How did you get people on board?
Well, definitely at the beginning, it was starting with me and Olga, and we're both like best friends during our exchange year. Olga is, she's from Poland and I'm from Indonesia. And, I think we're both just click during our exchange year. We're like best friends, we're sharing a lot of things with each other. We both have like the same passion, the same ambition, we're just connected with each other. And after our exchange year, after we go back to our, countries, I was kind of like, again, I come with this kind of like idea, and I asked Olga if she wants to be a part of it. And she said, yeah, this is something that we'd like to do together. And then we are just having like a really, really good communication together. We're having like the same mindset together, having this, same goal together, and always, being very communicative with each other, being very, very, what is it called? Very, very active, and very, very, like understanding between each other. And of course, like for the very, very first time when we're looking for the board directors, we're definitely looking for someone who we know at first, because again, directors are like very, very important, very, very crucial. So that's why I reach out to Angelina, because I know that she's very, very achieving, she's very, very smart, and very, very talented as well, very kind. So that's one of the reasons why I also reach Angelina, because she's just amazing, and we have to have her in the team, and also like the rest of the team as well, and the directors, they're all are very, very amazing. And a lot of them coming from our friends, some of them coming from our connection as well. And then we're just and the rest is like history. And for the board members, we're looking for them through just regular recruitment, just like what other organization did. And after that recruitment, we got like the best of the best from them, and they're like working very efficiently. And yeah, I think that's, the rest is like history. The rest is like, this is how we look like, all of the hard work coming from the result of our very, very dedicated, very, very talented team members that have been very, very dedicating to this organization. So yeah.
I definitely agree. I was kind of around, I think maybe like a couple of weeks after we got the idea. Tatiana and I had met through a mutual friend at another kind of like cross-cultural webinar that I spoke at. And then it was really fun to see kind of the board come together of just like friends and friends of friends, until we started getting applications from like the most talented and capable people. And for example, like our graphic design team or our marketing team went from somebody who was like mildly interested in marketing to this like very robust team of people with all kinds of specializations and even like university degrees in the subject.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How did COVID impact the founding of Impactional? Like, what do you think it changed?
Well, during my senior year, it was like right after, like, my kind of like, when I go back, it was like right after COVID. So, it's not like that bad, because it's time for us to go home anyway. But I mean, for Impactional, actually, like the idea of having this Impactional is, this has happened because of COVID, because we're at home. We have, we don't have much to do. And, I think this is also like a really great place as well for those who's quarantined and cannot go outside, to still get connected with people from all over the world through their laptop screen or through their phone screen. So yeah. Angelina, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, I think that COVID was not necessarily like ideal in many ways, but it's what potentially has allowed this program to foster, because people are getting much more adapted to the world of virtual things, and I think maybe more willing to go to an event or to participate in a program, to join a mentorship program or follow an Instagram account, because they know that they couldn't be doing this in person. But I also hope that that won't change, because part of our goal is to appeal to people who may not have the opportunity to go abroad, or may have limited resources, and we still want to be accessible to them even after others are able to travel.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree with that.
What's your future plans for Impactional?
Well, right now, definitely we want to reach more people. We want to reach more countries across the world. We definitely want to, make sure that every countries across the world is represented, because the more the merrier, and the more we can educate a lot of young people out there, and giving them platform to collaborate with each other, to get connected with each other, the more the more understanding that we can give to them as well. And through this understanding that we can give to literally everyone across the world, means that we can also pursue the idea of like world peace. We can pursue the idea of like not having this kind of like misconceptions, stereotypes, negative thoughts about each other. And definitely we want to make this, impactional, keep, sustainable. We want to make this something that that could keep going over and over again. And seeing this kind of like huge enthusiasm that we got in only 3 months means that we're on the right track. We're on the right track, and people like our ideas. People like this community. People like the organization as well. And as a team means that we have to also improving ourselves, developing ourselves to be a better team over and over again, because we want to make sure to give the best. And at the end of the day, to reach our end goal, to fostering this multicultural understanding, and also creating world peace at the end of the day, being able to gathering everyone. And it was probably not a really easy idea, not really easy thing to do. But again, I trust the team. I trust everyone here, Angelina, Olga, everyone in the team. They've been working very amazing and very hard as well for this organization. And I believe with this amazing teamwork together, we can actually, at the end of the day, pursuing our dream as an organization. Angelina, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered everything I wanted to say.
Yeah, all right.
So how can people support Impactional? So how can people who believe in the cause help?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of things. Yeah. Oh yeah, Angelina, you can answer.
The first thing obviously is to follow our social media platforms and to register for our mentorship program. And then if you're interested to apply for an ambassador or a board member position, and we're really, especially for ambassadors, we're always accepting applications, and we want to get the most talented people from all over the world. And so we're reviewing the applications always. I check them every single day. And we're looking based on, your qualifications and also where you're from and what you're willing to bring to the community. And I think as we kind of develop more organization, we'll work out more what other types of involvement and support we're offering.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think Angelina pretty much covered everything. Because again, just like what Angelina said earlier, ways to support our mission, our cause is definitely again probably following our social media. So you can get the latest news about different countries, about different different information about people from different countries as well. Getting yourself educated with this kind of like contents that we made every single day to make sure that everyone know what's going on in different countries and whatnot. And then you can also apply to our membership program, where you'll be the first group of people who will be notified about our our events, our webinar, our programs, and again, if you're already applying, you can also apply as an ambassador, where you'll be actively involved, or you'll be actively get in touch with the whole world basically through our social medias. With this almost 12,000 of people following our social media means that you can also giving a huge impact as well to their lives, to their and give them the knowledge and education that they need about your country, about your culture, about your, let's say, education system and whatnot, and learning from each other. And yeah, I think that's all from us. Yeah.
Do you have a Discord or Slack that people can join to communicate with the team?
The what? I'm so sorry.
Do you have a chat platform where people can communicate with each other?
Yeah, we're planning to have a Discord probably very soon. Right now, the chat platform will be available for the ambassador and members, and then you can also apply for membership, where you will get the latest news about our information, about our events and information. But in the very, I guess for now, we're planning to having a Discord where you can get connected with people from different countries as well. Where, so far that's our plan that will be initiated very soon.
Yeah, so to plug our social media, our Instagram is @Impactional. So you can follow us there, and you'll get all of our latest super cool talent from our design and marketing teams. And that's also where you'll find out when the Discord and other programs become available.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's about it. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much.